Hola, gringos y gringos, and welcome to
Gringos Are Us.
Expats with a Plan.
I'm Mark.
I'm Gina.
This week, Gina's going to take you through, all by herself, filing taxes here in Mexico. Coming up next.
And welcome back. Mark will not be in this video this week because, generally speaking, I'm the one that does the taxes. So, since we live in Mexico full-time, and I do earn in US dollars, it makes the task of filing our taxes appear a little daunting, mostly because of the language that the federal income tax people are using, the forms that the government dispenses. Sometimes that stuff can be very, very confusing and very intimidating. Now, in 2023, actually it would have been 2024, I filed the 2023 taxes. I was able to take the foreign earned income exclusion completely, 100%, and get all of the federal taxes I had paid that year returned to us. Now, that was depending on me having a W-2. 2024, I didn't work, so we just used ordinary tax service systems that I've used for years. I have used some of the free tax service systems that have e-file on them. Previously, for many years, I would use H&R Block Online. Of course, that would come with a small fee. And because I was literally able to do the entire session in 30 minutes or less, I thought, I need to share this. I need to share this site and this service. They have exceptional reviews, and the process was so easy. So, without further ado, I'm going to drop myself down in the lower corner, and I'm going to guide you through the service that I'm using and step-by-step show you everything I did today, with the exception, of course, of the actual numbers that are private, obviously. But you're going to see how easy it really is. And if you are wondering, do you qualify for this exclusion? How do you do your taxes if you have self-employment? How do you do your taxes if you have investment income, foreign investments, etc.? I hope to touch on that in this video. So let's get underway. So where I chose to do my taxes for a couple of years, every other year so far, is Expat File. I chose Expat File because they had a lot of good ratings, lots of excellent reviews by people. What I'm particularly interested in is that they are expat friendly and you can e-file. And when they say instant e-file, they're not kidding. It literally was easy to do. I don't have to interpret the documents. They guide me through it step by step. They even explain terms you don't understand very easily. They are authorized by the IRS as an e-file service provider. You can also file if you have foreign income and investments. You get support if you need it. They have 3 different plans. The plan that I used the first time I used them with only W-2s and no self-employment was $119. That includes all of your general forms that you typically have when you're doing a 1040, for example. Now, the plan I chose to use this year was Premier for $159 because they include business expenses in Schedule C and self-employment tax reporting in Schedule SE. That is the one I chose this year. Of course, if you have foreign investment income, and this could be capital gains, rents, etc., you can use the investor's plan for $199. If you want to have a tax expert take a look at your work when you're done, you can hire them. They weren't that much extra. And I really like the way they make you sign into their site, which I will show you in a minute. Very secure. The tax service that I have been using is called Expat File. You will find a link down below. That is a referral link. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just sharing this service that we use because I really do like it. Go to expatfile.tax and you sign up for an account. One of the fantastic things I like about their security is the fact that you will never have a login combination with password to access their site, ever. They register your email, and when you try to log in, you enter your email, and they will email you a temporary login code, kind of a two-factor authentication sort of thing. That code will get you into the site. Each and every time you have to go through that process. You enter your email, they email you to access the site. That's pretty slick. So let's get into the site. When you first get into the site, they have so many years back that you could try to complete a return. And then, of course, they have the ones you've already completed. I only did 2023. That's the only completed one they have here. I am not going to go back and do something all the way back to 2018. I don't need to. 2024 was done with a different service. The instructions are so incredibly easy to follow. Start. Did I live outside of the US? Well, yes. Yes, I did. Have you read through the terms and conditions? Well, yes, you can do that. I've done that before. Yes. And now we're going to start collecting personal information. You enter your name. Enter your date of birth. Now they want to know what you do for a living. Just whatever it is you do. It's not that it has to be written in stone. I simply put down that I'm an IT consultant. Now you have to put your social. And now you have to put your address. Now this could be a little bit tricky, I will admit. The secret to doing the address thing correctly would be enter your zip code first. That makes it a whole lot easier to get through this section. Because I kept typing my address to where we are, and it kept throwing me in some other state, in some other city. Put the zip code first. Then you'll be able to navigate the address. Now, I simply use our traveling mailbox address. Since we are domiciled in South Dakota, man, so I finally got through that whole address thing. Now they just want to verify that the address is right. After all that rigmarole, yes, the address is right. Can I be claimed as anyone's dependent? No. Am I blind? No. So we're going to do filed married filing jointly. Now I have to put Mark's name. Mark's date of birth. And in Mark's occupation, I just simply put retired. Is he a citizen or a green card holder? Yes. Put in his social. Next, they're going to want to know if he can be a dependent. No. And is he blind? No. Can we claim any other dependents? No. So then they give you a summary of our personal information. Looks good, then you just click continue. Now we do the income. And the income is broken up into really easy categories here. We have wages, self-employment, interest, dividends, Social Security, pensions, and then there's additional if you have less common types of income. So we're going to start off with the wages. I'm going to do wages on myself. Where did I live when I earned it? Outside of the country. Now they want to know what country. I got a W-2, so I'll indicate it's on a Form W-2. Simple enough. They just want to have the name of the employer. And then they want the employer's EIN. Continue. And now they want their address. Now they're asking for the total amount that was paid by my employer from box 1 of the W-2. I like these little, where do I find this sections to help you identify things that you may need some clarity on. They're very helpful and they're very plainly stated. Now they're asking how much a federal income tax was withheld. So we're going to get that from box 2 of the W-2. Do I have more wages to report? No. But I do have to add additional income. And now I'm going to choose self-employment. This is where my LLC comes into play. I'm going to indicate that it's mine. I worked outside of the US, Mexico. The name of the business is my name, but it actually is My Name Consulting LLC. So that's what I'm putting. Principal activity or profession, IT consulting. And then what type of general industry? I had to go through this list quite a bit before I finally settled on what I wanted to use. And I don't know that it's that particular. I wanted it to say information technology in some way. That didn't come up. So I landed on computing, but that's where I finally decided to sit with. Computer systems, design, and related. So what is the activity? What is the activity that my business is engaged in? Well, it defaulted. When I picked what I picked before, it just pulled that code value right in for me. Was it started in 2025? No, I started the year before. And is this the address of my business? Actually, no, it is not. This past year, I decided to actually use a business address, not my regular mailing address. I want you to double check the address to make sure it's correct. Did I receive an employer identification number? No, I used my own social. The accounting method, I did the tell me more to get a better explanation, and they provided, it's pretty easy to understand. I chose to go with cash. It's pretty simple. Cash in, cash out. Am I required to file a Form 1099 for the business? No. I don't make payments to anybody in relation to my business. But again, you got that how do I determine this button for the help. And you get a little pop out on the right. So now it wants to know how much income I had. Because I'm a subcontractor under another contractor, I did get a 1099 NEC. And my total income was listed, but it's just a matter, because I'm not having any taxes withheld because it is a 1099, it's as simple as adding up your weekly income. I didn't have returns, allowances given to any customers. Did I make any other income that was not previously reported? No. So that's a 0. Did I carry any physical inventory? No. Did I use a vehicle? No. Did I incur any expenses for the business use of my home? Well, yes, I did. And they made this really simple to calculate as well. So I literally took a tape measure and went up to the room that I'm using as an office, and I measured it. came down with square inches, and it's going to ask how large the entire home is. Well, my estimate is just about that every bedroom in this home is about the same size as the room that I'm using for working. And we have a TV room that's about the same size, the living room that's about double that size, and a kitchen. So it was really easy to figure out the percentage of square footage that's actually being used in the home for the business. And I didn't have to do any of that math. I just had to tell them how big that room was and how many other rooms of similar size or whatnot that I'm actually counting in the home. 264 square feet, continue. Now they want to know how big is the living area of the entire home. Again, I basically counted the fact that we have 3 bedrooms downstairs and a kitchen, a TV room, and double the size for the living room. Now I have my numbers, so I enter the total square footage and continue. Was your home used for business purposes for all of the year? No, it wasn't. I didn't start this recent assignment until 2 months before the end of the year. So in order for it to be considered for the month, you have to use it at least 15 days out of that month. So I used it for 2 months. Do I want to use simplified or actual expenses? Well, I could use actual expenses and I added them up, but I found that we're talking about maybe an $80 difference between listing actual expenses and just doing a simplified method. In this particular case, you will have to decide that if and when you decide to use a service like this for a self-employment situation. But rather than list everything I purchased in use of this business, calculating whether I want to do depreciative value, etc., for 2 months of time, I chose to use simplified method. And the deductions are listed immediately for the business use of that space in the home. You have an opportunity here to list any other expenses. Let's say you had to do some travel for the job, things like that. Those are able to be put here because these are expenses outside of the business use of your home. This could be car rentals, transportation, hotel stays, etc. If you want to see the types of expenses that are eligible, you can go ahead and move on as if you will be adding these expenses, and they give you a nice long list of what you can add. And of course, like the utilities, for example, you can put your internet, you can put part of your electricity. If you have to have licenses, like I have to have an LLC and I have to file annual reports, all those things can go in here. Because I only did this for 2 months in this particular year, I'm not jumping through all those hoops this time. But I will be next time. In this case, though, I did list my registry with the state of South Dakota, my licensing for an LLC. Okay, so now we're down to how much I earned, the allowances, and any other income. This is all for the self-employment, the business use of the home, taxes and licensing fees that I paid in order to have that business. If you move on, then I'll give you a summary of everything that you paid so far. I'm going to add interest income. If you have it, add it. We didn't have a lot. You know, we have a Charles Schwab Investors checking account. It does come with interest each month. Our balance is never that high to make it that important. It's negligible, but I did add it. I also have an IRA that really doesn't have hardly any money in it. I haven't been adding to it, so there's not much there. In fact, I don't think it earned anything. We also have to add Mark's Social Security. Did you pay any income taxes to a non-U.S. government? No, I did not. I didn't pay any taxes in Mexico. This is where the foreign earned income exclusion comes in. You have to earn, at least in this particular tax year, under $130,000 to get 100% of your federal income tax that has been withheld returned to you. Any amount after $130,000 is then taxed at the regular rate. And they give you a really good little explanation over here on the right pane when you click their helpful hints button. So now they're going to ask some questions to determine if you're eligible. So am I a citizen? Yes. Am I required to pay foreign, non-US taxes? No, I'm not. If I earned money from a business in Mexico, that would be a different story. Did I submit a statement of non-residency to a foreign country? Well, what does this mean? Well, according to this, no, I did not. When did I first move out of the United States? They want that date. That would be the day that we first came to Mexico to do our canje. November 20th, 2022. Am I still living outside of the US? Yes. Did I take any trips to the US during 2025? Yes, I did. This is important because there is a limit on how many days that you can spend back in the United States and still qualify for this. So I listed my dates for the trips that I've taken. That would include the trip that we took to the beach in the fall, and that would include our family reunion trip that we took in June, I believe it was. It says here, it looks like the best option is the bona fide residence test. There are a couple tests that may qualify you for this tax exemption, but I got bona fide residence. That's what I'm going with. Was your tax home located outside of the United States? So the answer to that is yes. Our home was outside of the United States. That's how we qualify for this tax exclusion. And you can, of course, hit the help button to get a little more definitive explanation as to what that means. Okay. Was your tax home in Mexico? Yes. Have you ever claimed foreign earned income exclusion before? Yes. Now they want to know the tax year. Well, it was 2 years ago. Have I ever revoked my exclusion? No, I haven't. And there we are. I qualify. So it gives you a summary of the income. You take a little gander of that, let it soak in, continue. We have to go and indicate that we also earn money through other channels. For example, we have YouTube, and they want a description of it. They only give you so many characters, as you can see. I had to end up typing in Google AdSense. And we don't get paid out every month if we don't meet the threshold for a payout. But I do get statements on Google in my AdSense account, and I literally just went and added up all the statements. They want to know what country we primarily lived in when we received it, and how much did we get and in what currency. So I know how much we got in US dollars, and I have to put US dollar there. Don't try to put the money in. Yes, folks, that's right. That is the actual amount that we received in an entire year for our YouTube channel. Do we have any other income to add? No. And this is one of those situations where next year, when we get a little more detailed in this, I will definitely be deducting things like the expenses we pay to run the channel. That would be things like music, subscription services, assets, QR codes, things like that. All right, so the additional changes I made are not going to affect anything. Now they need our foreign non-US address. Again, you know, I try to type it in, it doesn't want to work. So I basically had to put down, because it's looking for a US address, which is kind of silly if you think about it. They know it's a non-US address, but it's looking for a US address. So the solution here is to click on the button that says, I can't find the address. That's right, I can't find the address. And so now we'll just type in the address. This is where you get to put in the foreign country. And then it's going to force you to put in the state after the fact. And now we're done. No, my W-2 employer does not have a non-US address, or at least I don't know. So that is the appropriate selection for that. What type of business best describes how your employer is organized? It's a US business. What best describes your main residence? We rent a home. Continue. Did any family live with me? Yes. Who lived with me and for how long? Well, that would be Mark, my spouse, for 365 days. Did I maintain a secondary home in another non-US country? No. Did I also have a home in the US? No. I get mail there, and that is my legal domicile, but we don't have a home there. What are my employment conditions? Okay, so I needed them to explain to me what this was. Tell me more. And what they pretty much say, is don't overthink it. Right here. Don't overthink it. Okay, no conditions. Now they want to know what type of visa that we have. That is basically our residency status. So immigration visa, it's not a student or tourist or a work visa. It's an immigration visa. And does it limit our allowable stay? Yes, we have a limited visa because we have temporary residency. What are the limits of the visa? You could do tell me more, and I think it says basically, don't overthink this. Initially, I'd written limited to 4 years or 4-term temp residency. And I was like, maybe I should tell me more. Don't overthink this. I love this site. They just simplify everything. Temporary visa, renewable visa. Okay, fine. We have a temporary visa. There you go, temporary visa, 4 years. And now we are done with the earned income exclusion. They give you a summary of the tax breaks, and the only one we really got was the foreign earned income exclusion tax break. You can go back at any time and review anything that you've entered so far. Now they want to know what kind of payments we made to the IRS in 2025. I didn't make any. Did I make any estimated U.S. tax payments? No. When you are self-employed, you need to make those quarterly. That is something that I need to tackle this year. So we don't have any tax payments made. I would enter the amount there if I had made them. Now they want to know if I have any obligations under the FBAR FATCA. These are basically your financial accounts, your banking accounts. And if you open up the sidebar, it explains in a little more detail what they're looking for. If it's under a certain amount, you don't even have to worry about this. But if it's over a certain amount, yeah, you're going to have to report. If it exceeds 10,000 US dollars during 2025. But I don't have that, at least not yet. It could come down the road. So I'm going to skip right through this part. It does not affect me. Do we own any non-US bank or financial accounts? Yes, I have a new account. Was the balance of all of our non-US accounts greater than 10,000 US dollars during the year? No. And again, you can hit the help file. All right, moving on. I'm not required to file under either one of those situations. This is a summary of our obligations. We don't have any because we didn't have that amount of money invested in non-US accounts. And this is it. Now, I notice that I do have to pay tax. That is my self-employment tax. That will be my federal income tax that I have to pay and my Social Security and Medicare. The tax itself is Social Security and Medicare. Of course, the federal income tax would be on a 1040. They're telling me how much my refund's going to be, and that is the end of it. So now we have to hit continue if we want to file this. Now, if I want to have somebody review, I can add $99 to the amount that I pay. If I want that insurance, if I get audited or something, that's $59 extra. Or I could buy both. I choose not to. Everything on my taxes this year is really just so very straightforward and simplistic. I'm not doing a bunch of itemized deductions. So that's going to be a no, thank you. So this is going to cost me $159. That is because I do have the Schedule C and the Schedule SE that is included. Those cost a little extra. I'm going to purchase now. You have many payment options. You can pay with Link, a credit card, Google Pay, Affirm, Klarna, and I don't even know what else. Maybe PayPal or something too, hard to say. I just chose to pay with a credit card. All right, so they're verifying my payment, telling me how much my refund is. I got an email confirmation almost immediately that the payment was approved. Now they want to know how I want my refund returned to me, either by mail or by direct deposit. So the next step here would be if I'm getting direct deposit, which is what I want, I have to tell them which account and then provide them with the routing number and the account number. And then there you go. It's approved, it's ready for review. Click the download button. There comes my email now. One of the security features I love about the expat file is that you enter your email address, no passwords. They will send you an email. You will go to that email and you just click a link and it takes you right in. Now it says it's ready to be filed. I paid for it. Now I have to file it. I'm choosing to do e-file. Literally sign now. All you do is click the button. Sign now. Done. Did you receive an identity PIN from the IRS? No. No, basically what we do, every time we do any kind of electronic filing for our taxes, is you create your own PIN, and then you have to enter the adjusted gross income from the previous year's taxes. Same for Mark, they're asking the same thing. So I enter a PIN for him and the adjusted gross income from last year's taxes. And now that's it. We don't re-sign, we just say continue. You're ready to e-file. So just click continue. And e-file now. 30 minutes in and out. We are done. And so now I just wait for an email. And then I wait for the IRS to accept the return as I filed it. That is it. Guys, it's really simple to do. 30 minutes into it and my taxes are done. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them down below. I will answer them as best as I can. If you enjoyed this video, please do give us a thumbs up. We really do appreciate it. We are Gringos R Us, expats with a plan. And remember, we're doing it. You can too. And right over here are some videos that you might want to watch. Hasta la próxima.